quick briefing, and then we'll head out. Go ahead and say your full name for me.
Paul David Swahn.
My name is Eric Swahn. Looks like we have 5 laps today in the Porsche GT4. Is that correct?
That's correct.
All right. So all the mirrors are pointed towards me, so you don't have to look behind you at all.
All right.
Now, if we're mid-corner with a lot of steering angle in the car, just use a small amount of throttle. Once we are unwinding that wheel to straight, that's our cue that we can begin adding throttle smoothly. Now, when we're braking, I want you to brake hard in a completely straight line. The moment you start turning into the corner, trail off that braking pressure over 1 second as the wheel starts to turn. The wheel is going to feel very light in your hand, so all that's required is just nice, smooth steering inputs. Just like you're driving on the street or on the highway, don't steer too quickly. All that's required is just nice and smooth. I want you to think about your controls today as a dimmer switch rather than on-off. So it means when we're accelerating, just nice, smooth, progressive acceleration rather than 0 to 100. Remember, we are in a Porsche today, so the pedals are pretty sensitive. Now, like I mentioned, all the mirrors are pointed towards me on purpose so you can focus on what's happening in front of you. So orange cones on the brakes, green cones get close to for your turn points and your apexes. If there happens to be a faster car behind us, I'll put the hazards on. I'll let you know what side of the track we're going to go over to. Just ease off the throttle and I'll have my hand on the wheel, making sure we stay to one side. If there's a slow car in front of us and we want to pass, it's the same procedure. Just wait till they pull over, wait for their hazards to come on, and then we can pass on the other side of the track. Sounds like you want to do automatic today?
Yes.
And just take your first couple laps to warm up your tires, more heat, more grip. Get familiar with which way the track goes, our grip levels, and of course, unique features of this car. Do you have any questions for me?
Nope. Can I say a prayer?
Sure.
Okay, we're ready. Go.
All right. Foot on the brake, press down on the top, all the way back.
All the way back?
Yep. Now we're in drive. We're going to pull forward, small throttle, and then turn to the left. Let's go on the left-hand side of that blue cone. Once we get past the canopy, we'll turn left again, 90 degrees. Once we get up and close to those orange cones, then turn right. We're going to make a full stop at the end of the cones before we get onto the racetrack.
You're good?
Go to the right. And full stop at the end.
So, like no hands off?
You can move your hands around in the pit lane, but once we're on track, we're trying to keep your hands on that wheel. Full stop at the end, get up to the very end.
It's weird, no mirror.
It's different. You don't have to look behind you at all. I'll be monitoring all that. Full stop. You can enter the track, stay to the right hand side, begin to accelerate down that straightaway. First thing I want you to pay attention to is going to be the orange cones on the left hand side. We can go past the set of 3, 2, 1 cones for our braking points. We use those next lap around. We can go all the way to the left hand side, coast is clear, don't look behind, just keep your vision in front. At those tiny orange cones, we can apply the brakes the first time out of the pit lane. Apply the brakes, trail off, turn in, small throttle off the brakes, accelerate, curb to curb, more throttle, let's go center track. Continue acceleration all the way to your braking point. You can accelerate more all the way to the orange. At the orange cones, we'll apply the brakes. That's your turn point. Mid corners on the outside, let's get closer to those cones. Now our apex on the inside, get tight to the green cone on the inside. Accelerate, more throttle, turn in, you got 2 green cones on the right. Let's get close to both of them. You can be another 5 feet closer. Run over the red and white curbing. You can use that curbing there. More throttle on the short straight, more throttle to the left. Wait for the green cone. Then turn in, stay all the way to the right. You got our apex followed by a braking zone. Stay to the right. Brake, all the way to the right. Trail off, turn in, off the brakes. You want to be accelerating through here. Make it as straight as possible, just off the black and yellow curbing. Straight to the next curbing, more throttle. Accelerate all the way to the orange cones. You can get the full throttle through here. Apply the brakes, stay all the way to the right. Wait for the turn point. Trail off to your mid-corner position on the outside of the track. Now turn in for your apex. Turn your head. Unwind to the right, add throttle. Use all the space available on the right-hand side. Get the full throttle and hold it there, 100%. All the way to your braking point. Stay to the left, full throttle. Full throttle, let's brake at the 1 board. Keep going. 3 board, 2 board, 1 board, brake. Harder. Release, off the brakes. Accelerate. You can release that brake pressure earlier. Let's go center track, more throttle. Try to relax those arms, make sure you're breathing. Keep breathing and brake at the orange. Go all the way to the orange and then brake. Get close to the green cones, close to the green. On the outside, see that one over here? want to be closer to that cone.
Okay.
Now we can get back to the left-hand side. Try to play connect the dots with all the green. Now let's get tight to the second one on the right. And back to the left. Keep that vision moving down the track. More throttle, more throttle. Keep accelerating to the left. More throttle to the left. Keep accelerating. Turn in for apex. Stay to the right. And brake into orange. Apply the stay to the right. Brake. Release. Turn in. Accelerate. 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 You're on the brake too long. Keep accelerating. More throttle, more throttle. Get to full throttle. 100%. Stay to the right. Wait for the green cone. Brake. Release the brake. Off the brake. Off the brake. Off the brake. Accelerate. Unwind to the right. Begin to accelerate. Get to full throttle and hold it there. 100%. All the way to your braking point. Don't let up before the two board. Drift over to the left. Full throttle. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Apply the brakes. You can brake way harder. Probably braking at 20% right now. We can spike that brake pressure off the brake as you turn that wheel. You don't want to be adding brake pressure as you turn. You want to be releasing. Let's go accelerate all the way to the orange. Keep accelerating more, more, more. You go all the way to the orange and then let off and brake. Get close to the green. That's your turn point. Don't fight me with that wheel. Got our mid corner is way out here. Then turn in. You're looking too soon for that apex. More throttle. Center track. Turn in. Sit tight to the green cones. Even tighter. See that? You're running right over that red and white curving. More throttle, more throttle. Back to the left. More throttle. Turn in. Small throttle. Stay to the right. Hug the right hand side. Brake. Release. Off the brake. Turn in. Back on the throttle. Accelerate. On corner exit. More throttle, more throttle. Smooth progressive acceleration all the way to your braking point. More throttle. More, 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 more. More, 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 more. You got this. And brake hard. Wait for the turn point. Slow steer to the mid-corner position. Off the brakes. Turn in. Back on acceleration. Unwind to the right. Use all the track available on the right.
Got it, got it, got it.
All the track.
I
All
got
the track.
it.
Full throttle. 100%. Are you having fun?
Yeah.
100%. All the way to the one board. Full throttle. Full throttle. Full throttle. Full throttle. 3 board. 2 board. 1 board. Brake. Hard. Harder. 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 Off the brake, 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 off the brake. Accelerate. You're holding on to the brake pressure way too long. Accelerate. All the way to the orange. Apply the brake. Get close to the green. Closer, 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 closer. Off the brake. Mid corner. Yes. Now turn in. That's what you're looking for. Try to move your vision a little earlier towards those next cones. You just want to have a smooth flow of information for your eyes. Back to the left. Connect the dots. More throttle, more throttle. Keep accelerating. Keep breathing. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Back to the left. See that green cone? That's where you want to be. Off the brakes. Don't need a brake through there. Stay to the right. Accelerate. Stay to the right. Brake. Release. Accelerate. Straight line. Smooth throttle. More throttle. More throttle. More throttle. 100%. 100%. Foot to the floor. Stay to the right. Apply the brakes. Wait for the green cone. Release. Off the brakes. Turn in. Back on acceleration.
I'm braking way too light.
And accelerate. Full throttle. All the way to your braking point. Hold full throttle all the way to the one board. And then brake hard. 100%.
Oh.
Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. 3 board, 2 board, 1 board, brake. Harder, harder. Release. Off the brakes, accelerate, accelerate, accelerate. Keep going, you got this. Let's go center track. Try to relax those arms a little bit. Don't want to be stiff arming that wheel. Accelerate all the way to the orange. Get close to the green. Brake.
I got it, I got it.
Off the brakes. Accelerate. Off the brakes. Off the brakes. Accelerate. Let's go center track. Like the curving on the right. Get tight to the curb. Accelerate to the left. More throttle. More throttle. More, more, more. More throttle. Back to the left. Accelerate. Don't brake. Accelerate. Stay to the right. Apply the brakes. Release. Accelerate. To the right. To the left. Accelerate. More throttle. More throttle. More throttle. More throttle. And that is 5 laps of Speed Vegas.
We're
It's
going
time for
in.
you to exit the track. Stay to the right. Go through those white cones. Straight ahead. Don't need to brake yet. All right. Good job out there. What'd you think?
Awesome. My ass is all puckered up
Yeah?
and I'm sweating profusely.
So, how do you like the car?
Awesome. Seamless.
And what questions do you have for me? How can I help you out there? Anything about technique or line choice or things that I'm saying?
Nope. No, that's perfect. Good job.
So it's good communication.
Excellent. Thank you.
You're welcome. And what car are you driving next?
A Toyota Corolla.
Very good. And so let's go past that black Lamborghini Gallardo there. Go to the center part of the canopy. We'll find a spot where you can park closer. Let's do it on the left, right between the yellow Huracan and the Shelby right here.
Right here?
Yep. Just gonna hose it down. Small throttle. Just trying not to run over Lloyd. I'll just give you some quick feedback, and then we'll get going. Go ahead and put it in park. Press down the top, all the way forward. So I would say that you can accelerate way more harder. You can use more acceleration. You're pretty timid with the throttle, and you can brake way harder. So we're only probably braking at about 20% of our max braking pressure. You can spike that brake pressure significantly harder, and then you're holding onto the brake pressure way too long. It's actually dangerous how you're braking. So you're adding risk and you're going slower by doing that. We want to brake hard, completely straight. As you start to turn in the wheel, you should be releasing. Right now you're holding onto the brake pressure way too long in the corners. That's the #1 way people spin cars. So if you're doing it on the street, that's a bad habit. You should try to reverse that. As soon as that wheel starts to turn, release that braking pressure. Think about this rule of 100%. If you have 95% of your traction dedicated to braking, you start to add even 5% steering angle, you're already over or at 100%. Right, so as you add steering angle, we should be immediately reducing your braking pressure. Now you can get away with thousands of mistakes at slower speeds, but the moment you're on a racetrack, all those bad habits get magnified. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Very good.
Would you mind repeating that? No, I'm just kidding.
Think about this rule. If you have, it's called string theory. If you have a string connected from your feet to your steering wheel, as soon as that wheel starts to turn, your feet have to come up. If our wheel goes to the straight, our feet go to the forward. Now, did you notice that when you were accelerating, you would roll on and then stop? Right? Well, good throttle control means that once the throttle is open, it's rolled on evenly, smoothly, and consistently throughout the remainder of the corner. So all the way to those braking points. Right now, you're letting off well before you need to.
Well, I'm being timid because I don't know the car very well.
Understandable. All right, we can head back to pit lane and check in over there.
Thank you.